With Donald Trump's impending return to power, many asylum seekers are more than a little worried about their future in the United States. Trump's promises of mass deportations and extreme restrictions on asylum have created a climate of uncertainty and fear. But I want to share with you an inspiring story that shows there's hope, even after years of waiting and uncertainty. I'm going to tell you about an amazing journey from fear and uncertainty to peace of mind and hope. And we're starting right now. I'm Brian Manning, and I used to be an asylum officer with the government, but now, as an asylum lawyer, I help immigrants all over the country to secure their future in America through asylum. Let me know in the comments if you've got an asylum case pending, or maybe you're just now considering applying. And listen, I'd especially like to hear from you. If you've been waiting for an asylum interview for multiple years with USCIS, let me know in the comments how long you've been waiting. All right, this is the story of Francisco and Gloria and their family. By the way, I've changed their names to protect their privacy, and the images that you're seeing aren't really them. So their decade-long journey from persecution to protection in America shows what's possible when you take action to move your case forward and you commit to a proven process for success. Francisco was a chemical engineer in Venezuela, where he faced escalating threats and eventually violence for refusing to support the authoritarian regime there. They demanded complete loyalty, Francisco told me. When I wouldn't attend their political rallies and instead helped opposition groups with community service, they labeled me an enemy of the state, a traitor. The pressure grew more intense each day. The breaking point came when government-backed militia members followed him after work and attacked him in the parking lot. They called me a traitor and threatened my family, Francisco recalled, his voice shaking when he told me this. When they said they knew where my daughter went to daycare, that's when I knew we couldn't stay another day. No parent should have to live with that kind of fear. So the family fled to the United States in 2014, where Francisco had to start completely over. His professional credentials didn't transfer, so he worked whatever jobs he could find. He drove for Uber during the day and sold phones at the mall on weekends. Eventually, he landed a job at the Home Depot, starting as a stalker and working his way up to manager through sheer determination. Now, his wife Gloria cleaned houses part-time while caring for their young daughter and their son, who was actually born in the United States, the only country that he's ever known. Through hard work and diligent saving, they built a good life, buying a house in a good school district where their children thrived. Their son, Luis, now 6, plays soccer, while their 11-year-old daughter, Gloria, who left Venezuela when she was just a toddler, excels at basketball and choir. Now, on the surface, things seemed great, but Francisco couldn't shake the cloud of uncertainty hanging over them. His asylum case had been pending for years with no interview in sight. He had filed his asylum application with USCIS about 3 months after his arrival in 2014, but he hadn't heard anything from the Houston Asylum Office, where his case was pending, since he went in for his biometrics appointment shortly after filing his application. Calls and emails to inquire about the status of his case and to request an interview were met with silence. The stress was crushing, he told me. I'd lie awake at night wondering if everything we'd built here could be taken away at any moment. My son is a US citizen, but what would happen to him and my daughter if we were forced to leave? Francisco asked me. Francisco learned about our asylum delay lawsuit service through where else but our YouTube channel, and he called my office. Now, this powerful tool called a mandamus lawsuit can force USCIS to schedule long-delayed asylum interviews by taking the government to federal court. By the way, if you want to maximize your chances for asylum success, then be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you don't miss the insights that I share on this channel. All right, I explained everything to Francisco, and he decided it was worth a shot. By that time, he was just about out of hope for getting resolution, but he decided to take a chance and act boldly, giving my law firm the opportunity to support him. And he actually wanted more than to just get the interview scheduled. He knew that he needed help with his underlying asylum claim as well. So we immediately got to work implementing our 3-step asylum action plan. First, we created a comprehensive asylum roadmap, meticulously documenting the persecution that Francisco faced and gathering evidence of the dangers that he'd face if he were forced to return. We worked with him to develop a detailed declaration in which he provided everything the asylum officer would need to see in order to know that Francisco met all of the requirements for asylum. My law firm wrote a legal brief in which we connected the dots and applied the facts to the law in providing a legal analysis that demonstrated exactly why he deserved asylum. Now next, in the second step of our asylum action plan, we prepared Francisco intensively through practice interviews, ensuring that he could confidently tell his story while addressing all the legal requirements for asylum. And then finally, in the third step of our asylum action plan, I represented Francisco at his interview. Now, how did we get that interview? What was the secret after Francisco's efforts over many years to move the case forward had proved futile? Well, it was the asylum delay lawsuit that we filed, the mandamus lawsuit. And it worked exactly as intended. Just 2.5 months after filing, USCIS scheduled Francisco's interview at the Houston Asylum Office, where I had actually worked previously as an asylum officer myself. All the hard work paid off. Francisco handled the stressful interview with grace and confidence. He was outstanding. In less than 2 weeks later, I got to make one of my very favorite phone calls. When you told me we'd won asylum, I couldn't speak, Francisco shared. I just broke down crying. For the first time in 10 years, I could breathe freely. That night, I went to bed knowing that my children were finally truly safe. Now, today, Francisco has the peace of mind that he longed. His children can continue growing up in the only home they've really known. The confidence that we're safe, that we can build our dream life here, that's worth everything, he says. My advice to others waiting for asylum, don't give up, take action, get help. Listen, Francisco's story shows that you're not powerless in your asylum case. If you've been waiting years for your interview, you can take action. The asylum delay lawsuit is a powerful tool to force USCIS to do its job, to give you your interview and your decision. And with the right preparation, you can maximize your chances of winning your case. At my law firm, we've developed a proven system. Our asylum action plan consists of 1, the asylum roadmap. We create a compelling case file that shows exactly why you qualify for asylum. 2, preparation. We conduct thorough practice interviews so that you know exactly what to expect at your asylum interview. And 3, representation. One of our asylum attorneys represents you during your interview, ensuring that your rights are protected and that the officer understands exactly how you meet all the requirements for asylum. Listen, I know there's a lot for asylum seekers to be worried about right now, and I hope Francisco's story stirs in you at least a little bit of hope that this dream can come true. If you're ready to take the next step and get help with your asylum case, then call my office today. That number is 713-909-0401. And remember, we help people all over the country, so it doesn't matter where you live. Call us now to schedule an asylum strategy session so that we can help you to secure your future in America through asylum. Again, I'm Brian Manning. It's truly an honor to serve you in your asylum journey.